So, what Fort Detrick lab is, nowadays, coronavirus is still spreading around the world while fighting against it. People also think about where it is exactly from. The most noteworthy one is Fort Detrick lab in the US, and more than 25 million netizens even jointly signed for the investigation. So why is the lab so suspicious? Let's start from the World War II. When it comes to war, we would think of weapons, but there's another kind of battle without any knives or guns. Instead, with bacteria and viruses, groups and even humans can be killed. That is called biochemical weapon. During World War II, Unit 731 from Japan built bioweapons every day. They invaded everywhere, killing countless Chinese and North Koreans. Later, Japan also secretly attacked Pearl Harbor, which completely enraged the US to strike back. The US also built bioweapons to get even and started a biolab on its own land, which is the prototype and the birth of Fort Detrick lab. That means the lab is born for bioweapons. Later, Japan surrendered. The US considered bioweapons a good stuff to develop. But how? Through getting lots of research materials from Unit 731. So they snatched and succeeded. Then they employed the leader of the unit to be a senior consultant for building bioweapons. Just then, the CIA felt interested and sent experts to make joint study. So what did the lab mainly study? Two kinds. Especially in bioweapons, deadly bacteria were used. They also made trials on American soldiers. Such bioweapons were finally used in a battle. With so many viruses, would leakage happen? It did. Many accidents happened in Fort Detrick lab were caused by various of factors, such as the breakage of protective gear and the escape of infected animals and the like. The leaked viruses were also accountable for the human death. People then become furious and came to Fort Detrick for condemnation. Nixon, the president at that time, was shocked. To stay out of trouble, he proclaimed that bioweapons project would be replaced by biochemical defense. The task of the lab seemed to change, but the research content remained the same. The accidents of leakage continued to take place, and the project never stopped running. Till July 2019, the lab was suddenly closed. The official reason for its closure was a secret. Because of the COVID-19 outbreak in March 2020, the US reinvested and made it run again to develop vaccine. That is the basic development of Fort Detrick lab. But why is it suspected to be related to the source of COVID-19? Because of its coincident closing time. As we've said, the lab was suddenly closed in July 2019. Just at this time, respiratory diseases erupted in two states near the lab, Wisconsin and Virginia. One is also said that it was associated with e-cigarettes, known as e-cigarette pneumonia. Coincidentally, the symptoms of this pneumonia were very similar to that of COVID-19. Patients all suffered from cough, fatigue, and fever. Even their CT images were quite similar to coronavirus. Unexpectedly, a massive flu also invaded in the US, killing lots of people. The CDC director said publicly last year, some of the patients may actually die of COVID-19 instead of the flu. Besides, just when the flu in the US broke out, more than 300 American soldiers were sent to the 7th CISM Military World Games in Wuhan, during which 5 of them showed symptoms of infectious disease like cough and fever. In November, a case of coronavirus appeared in Wuhan. Let's look at the whole process. In July 2019, Fort Detrick was suddenly closed. Pneumonia and influenza in the US. October, US soldiers went to Wuhan, China. COVID-19 cases in Wuhan in November. So the thinking goes, is the coronavirus coming out from Fort Detrick lab? Sure, there's something else suspicious. When the outbreak just started, the mutation of viruses are not that serious. 3 types mainly. A. The earliest novel coronavirus. B. Variant of virus A. C. Variant of virus B. Experts had done relevant studies on these 3 mutant viruses. Turns out, in March 2020, the distribution of mutated strain was like B existed in China mainly, while A were found in the US. The virus appeared earlier in the US than in China, so people speculated the coronavirus was spread from America to China and then mutated in China. Meanwhile, besides the lab, the University of North Carolina system is also under suspicion. Some research teams there always make virus experiments, include synthesis and modification of coronavirus. Facing Raising the questions about Fort Detrick lab, the US has kept a secret and not allowed an investigation. So, is this series of events really related to each other, or they're just coincidences? The truth will come to light in the near future.